Hello, everyone. Now, tonight I have a little something special for you. I wasn't going to stream, but a friend of mine wanted to see me create my first pirate ship in a 3D animation software called Blender. I am new to Blender, so I do not know everything about it, nor do I know all the options that you can use. This is just a favor for a friend who wants to see a pirate ship being created in Blender, in the software Blender. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So what I got here is what I'm thinking is going to be the side of the pirate ship. Now these are the planks for the side, and for my vision of a pirate ship is that there is a bottom that hangs in the water, and at some point it comes up straight, right? So it's kind of curved out like this. So the bottom of the ship is going to be in the water, somewhere like that. And this here are the planks, are the sides of the ship. Got multiple planks over here. As you can see, I made them out of cubes and stretched them out. With that being said, I imagine the pirate ship going like in a sort of straight line, and then for the back area where the wheel is, where the steering wheel is, I would say it comes kind of like up, and then like another stairway up, like inside the ship, of course, like in here.
Are you even eating it? Look, you're almost done. What are you crying about? Finish it.
So,
What do you
I have
want?
no idea if I'm going to make the whole 3D model,
Huh?
because I'm just starting out. I've only got to lesson
I
15,
can't understand you.
110 minutes of being taught of how to use some of these features. So this is nothing. This is going to be nothing special. Um,
Don't eat dessert.
I what I do want to do is I want to make the planks different from each other in some way, like some kind of color or some way. This is going to be eventually, and so that way each board of the ship stands out. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that. Like which colors am I gonna use? I might do like a brown and like a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, like just slightly, just so that if you look at it closely, like you can see the difference. You can see that they're different planks. And that's what I want. I don't want people to see a solid mass. I want them to see that the ship is made up of different planks. So, without further ado, I'm gonna continue working on the ship. Okay, so there's gonna be some more boards that come back here, and I want to make like
Brandon, take a shower.
some
Put on
kind
your
of
pajamas and
transparency of some sort, like a little glass, or maybe not even a glass, because I don't know how to make glass in this
before you go
program
to
yet.
bed.
But some kind of backing where it wraps around like a curve, and I haven't even. This might be a little bit of more of an advanced undertaking for me because I haven't learned how to curve objects yet. But what we can do is we can slant them, as you can tell. We can slant them ever so slightly, so that way it kind of curves into a kind of point, like something like that. You know what I mean? And we can use smaller boards. I mean, they don't have to be that long. They can be like you know, some small board where it's kind of like tilted in a kind of different way. So let's go ahead and give this a try. I don't know if this is going to be tall enough. This is not a room to scale model. I'm just trying to make a makeshift something. There have been people that have done really what looked like really easy things, and I kind of wanted to spend my time because eventually when I'm creating in this software, they're going to be very, very elaborate. So I want to have, you know, as much elaboration on my scenes as possible. So as you can tell, I put down a plane of an area, and that's going to be the water. Now it doesn't have to be too far because, you know, we can shift this camera around. It's pointing into the water, it looks like, but we can shift this camera around, and all you'll be able to see is like water and the boat. In the camera view. This is called the camera right here. So in the camera view, we'll be able to see the whole boat. And I don't know if I'm just going to take a snapshot or I'm going to share a video that spans around my ship so that it's a full 3D model, because this is a 3D software. I only have a little bit of experiences with this software. If you go to add, if you go to add, and these are called meshes. So the bottom, the ocean, the water, the blue water is a plane, and my planks are cubes. I mean, I can do like kind of spheres and cones and stuff like that, but I haven't really used too many of these, or at least for this particular project, how to get it to do what I want to do. Now there's a little thing called curve, and I have not used this at all, so I'm not even sure how this particular function works. I'm assuming it'll take an object and curve it somehow. Let's give it a try here. I don't want to mess anything up. So add curve. Let's try the first one. I don't think that did anything. Maybe I'm using it wrong. See, I don't know how to use that function, so we're not going to use it. You know, we're just gonna create what we can, and that'll be that. So now, I got my base side, and I'm gonna add some planks going down, and to give it some kind of form, to give it some kind of definition, and I'm gonna put little cubes, flat cubes, to make little squares for like cannon holes right here along the side, maybe 4 or 5 across. And the front I'll start curving with like little boards or little planks to make the front. So that's what I'm gonna start doing now. And then this takes a while, people. This is not no 5-second, let me add a plank here, there, kind of work. It does take time, and I'm just gonna try to make it as entertaining as possible, and kind of explain what I'm doing. So the good thing is that we can duplicate boards and things. So with this being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start curving boards all the way around. But where do we attach it to? If we curve around, how do we know how big it's going to be? How do we know how big the curve we want is? Well, for me, that's kind of easy, because what I'll do is I'll take this board and we'll select a few of them. So you do that by shift and clicking each board. I think there's a faster way to do it. Like I said, I'm pretty new on this. I'm sure they'll touch base on how to do it faster again. But what I'm comfortable with right now is just clicking each board. So I clicked each board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rotate it so that it's the opposite direction, but the same exact distance and same exact curve of each object. So I want to move it over here to the other side so I can make the other side of my ship. So I'm going to go ahead and shift D for duplicate, and I'm going to move it over. Oops. You should probably never move it with your mouse, because the mouse, when you move it with your mouse, it moves it slightly off of the track of each axis you're moving it along. So you see how there's an x-axis, a y, a z-axis, and a y-axis. So the red is x, the green line is y, and if I can, that blue line going straight up and down, that's the z-axis, also known as Z. So let's drop it, and we're going to hit Control Z to undo it, and then we're going to hit Shift D to duplicate, and we're going to hit X to move along the x-axis. So you see how it adds that extra red line? That's letting you know that it's only going to move across the x-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and move it across the x-axis to about right there. And now I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to turn it around so that it's facing the other object. So we're going to do that by R for rotate, and we're going to rotate along the Z axis. So the Z axis appears, and you just kind of rotate it around the Z, and we put it into the position as straight as we can make it. All right, I'll say about there. Okay, it kind of looks like it's in the same spot. It might not be. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of see if we go to this little pull out bar right here, and it'll give you your rotation axis on what rotation it is. So if we go here, we see 0, 0, and then 183. We go here and we see 0, 179, 83. Now this is, so each axis has a positive and negative. You know, you go on this side, it's gonna be, if you go to the left, it's going to be negative. If you go to the right, it's gonna be positive, or vice versa. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. I just try to eyeball it and get it right. But you know, eventually, if you want to get things perfect, you know, you want to know like the exact rotation to get it even and things like that. But you got to remember that nothing in this world is perfect. You know what I mean? So, but you want to try to get as close as possible. So, with that being said, I think that is about good. So what we'll do is we'll take this guy and we'll duplicate all these boards, and you can click these guys over here too if you know the numbers. You know what I mean? That's not one. So you can double click it to unselect it, and you can go down and you select these cubes here. Okay. think that's all those. And then what we'll do is we'll rotate it. Or actually we'll move it. We'll duplicate it. Duplicate it. And then kind of move it over. Whoop. And we're going to just drop it. Why? Because this one doesn't need to be perfect. This one, we're going to snap this one onto the other piece. So the other piece is getting eyeballed. This one is getting snapped on. So it'll be straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it. And again, that's R. And then we're going to rotate it around the Z axis. Okay. And then we're going to move it. And so I got corner snapping on. And I'm going to move my cursor to one of these corners. And it's going to snap on to the object. See how that worked? Okay. So, last but not least, we're going to do the same thing to these guys. So, I believe it's a little bit faster here. Is just select all these guys. And you're going to duplicate. Shift D. We're going to move it over here because we can. And then we're going to rotate around the Z axis. Turn it around. What are you doing? What are you doing? Alright, what's going on here? Okay. Here we go. Alright, so we'll drop that guy there, and then we'll G, and we'll go move to one of these corners because I got corners snapping on. We don't want to do that. How about that one? Oh. So we'll drop that guy right there, and we'll just kind of move over here, and we'll hit G. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Okay, so G. Okay. There we go. But why is it not moving over to where I want it to be? So let's move it out a little bit. Let's G, and we'll move it along the Y. So let's move it over a bit. Put it right there. And now we'll try it. So actually let's move it a little bit closer to the X axis. Okay, and now we'll try it. So hopefully it'll work this time. I'm not exactly sure why it's not working. So let's go G and then corner snap. Oh, there it goes, I think. Yep. Whew. Alright. So, that looks nothing like a ship, don't get me wrong. But it's getting there. I feel like. Alright. So now we have to figure out how to attach the back. So now that we have a point of reference where we can connect our boards to wrap around. So, how are we going to do this? The curve function, wherever it is and however you do it, would be super amazing right now, because I could just wrap the board around to the other side. But since I don't know how to do that, and we haven't got to that lesson, let's try to do the tedious way and make little boards curve around. How's it going, unit? How you doing? Thank you for joining us. Normally I game, so I apologize if this is a little slow for you. Cool. Well, welcome. Oh, great. Love it. So do you know what lesson are you at? Do you know? Have you started learning at all, or you're just trying to? No worries, brother. No worries. No worries. I feel you. I feel you. I'm a super beginner, so you came in at the right time. But um, like I said, I don't want to bore you with how bad I am at this. So I'm going to try my best to move right along. If you have any questions, let me know. If I can't answer them, I will tell you I can't answer them. And until I do, and I'll hold on to the question until I can answer it, okay? So you're not going to be left in the dark. You might be left in the dark for a while because I don't know at which lesson am I going to be taught all these things. So I was given a task just to make a model of something. It doesn't have to be anything specific, just a model of something. And me thinking, a pirate ship's gonna be easy. It's got it. I like as I'm putting it together. It's kind of good. But as I'm trying to see it, putting it together in my mind, it's getting harder and harder. But so let's go ahead and continue. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make these little boards, and this is going to be tedious because I'm going to make them super small just so that the curvature is less likely to be noticed. Like I want full on curve, like smooth curve. So I'm going to be snapping these boards together using the snapping function, which is up here at this magnet. And the snapping feature I've learned so far is vertex. And that snaps corners to corners. So I just noticed as I was trying to explain this that this snap is not fully snapped together perfectly. There's a little space in there for some reason. But I think I can get it to where I can rotate the whole thing just slightly to get it to connect. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that now. No, don't worry about making mistakes when you first try Blender because you can always undo by Control Z. Control Z is gonna be your best friend because you're gonna try stuff, and when you try stuff, it's not always gonna work out. I'm telling you that right now. It's not always gonna work out. So with that being said, undo is gonna be the greatest tool in your Blender life so far. I did learn how to pan around the shot, not a very lengthy amount of time, so we're going to be figuring that out together. Is how you pan the camera around a shot, and then that's the number pad 0 is the quick key for that to get to your camera. All right, so let's see if we can figure out how to get this a little bit closer. Maybe I can just move it along the y-axis and it'll just move a little bit closer for us. So let's go G and then Y for the y-axis, and then slightly move it over a little bit. So let's see if that works out. There is still a sort of, it's less noticeable though. There is a slight line. See, on this side it's all smooth, no lines. On this side there's a line right there that is bothering me. Now, so people who learn Blender want to create cool things. So there are people, and the more attention to detail that you have is what sets you apart from people. Now, I'm not saying spend time on any one thing because you want to learn a lot of stuff, right? So don't spend too much time on one thing. I do have some minor experience in the 3D world, just not modeling or Blender interface. Really, I've only done animation related things, but I would like to learn how to make assets to be animated. Blender is like the best package for everything. So Yeah, with that being said, I looked at three different softwares, and if you've looked at different softwares, then you know that Blender is by far the cheapest. Now I'm not trying to be a cheapskate, but when you go look at some of these animation softwares, they're like a grand for 3 months. And if you're just starting out, you don't know if you have no idea if you're gonna like this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So you wanna kind of get into it a little bit. So they do give you free trials of Maya, but Blender. So I was actually not even thinking about Blender, and I got my idea. I was like, you know what? Like, let's try to find a route that's cost effective. So I looked up Blender on YouTube, and Blender has some actually really cool animations out there, like full on like cinematic animations. So you can pretty much make a cinematic animation and things like that, like a cinematic scene with Blender. So if you learn how to use Blender, then why not? Like, why not? Yeah, I tend to spend a lot of time on thinking of cooler things. Like every time I build something, I think of like, oh, I could add this to that. So what I'm doing is I have a well scene that, yeah, I know. The price is fantastic for Blender. Um, but anywho, I have this well scene that allows me to, every time I learn something, to add something to it, to make it better, to make it more animated, to add a story to it, and make it more fun to look at and things like that. Right now, it's just a well, but eventually it will have its own person drawing water from it, or in this case, because I have a light coming from my well, it's like a magic well or something, drawing power from it or something. It'll have its own story. But at this point, it's just a well. No wheel to turn. No rope that draws water from a bucket. Nothing like that. But I'm gonna leave it just like this because I want to not spend so much time on it. I want to keep going and at least get a lot of my ship done tonight. So with that being said, what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna make like an in software 2-foot block of wood and have 2-foot blocks of wood going all the way around the back. Now I don't know how that's gonna work, so we're just gonna try it. So I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this block, and I'm gonna move it up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and span my view, and I'm going to size it. So I want to scale it. So that's with the hotkey S. And then we're going to scale it to go shorter, which is along the y-axis, because you can see the green going the long ways, and not the making it bigger ways, I guess you could say. So with that being said, I just kind of messed it up because I didn't press an axis to go along. So I'm going to hit Control Z, and then I'm going to hit S for scale and Y for scaling along the y-axis. So we're going to make it shorter, and that should work like right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and snap it to the back here, and we're going to not worry about angling it yet because we want to snap to work correctly. So alright, so I'm going to drop it right here. I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to snap. There we go. Alright, so I think that is good. Alright, so now we want to... Now I'm going to make the top ring because, like I said, duplication is also going to be a good friend of yours. Duplication... We're going to build the top ring all the way around the back, and then we're going to duplicate the top ring all the way down, at least until this block here. Because this is when it starts curving and it starts coming in, and it's going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. So at least let's work it while we can. So we're going to rotate this. I'm just seeing if this works because I have no idea if this is going to work or not. So we're going to rotate this around the Z axis. So we're going to press R for rotate, and we're going to press Z for the Z axis. And maybe we shouldn't make it so curved yet. So maybe about right there. Yeah, I think about right there should be good. So we're going to go ahead and hit G for moving my, I don't know why it's G for moving the object, but it's G maybe for geographical location. Who knows? I'm sure they do. But we're going to snap it to the backboard. So G, and then we're going to snap it here. See if that works out. Now there's a way to snap it where there's no space. Where there's no space on it. If I can get it to, let's see. How do I shift my view? No. I need to move my point of reference. How do you do that? Anywho, we're just gonna have to do this the old eyeball way. There's a way to get your point of reference changed. I forget how to do that. I haven't had to do that yet because I've made everything in the middle of my point of reference. So with that being said, we'll just kind of come over here and kind of eyeball it. And it looks like there's a little bit of a space right here. So I'm going to try to fix that. And we're going to hit G, and I want to snap it in a little bit more. There we go. That should work. Okay. So again, let's duplicate this guy. And we only have to make half of this thing. We only have to make half this thing because if we duplicate half of it, it should fit nicely on the other side. And if it doesn't, we can always move the outside a little bit over a little bit. So that way it does fit nicely. So Shift D to duplicate. And I'm going to leave it right here next to it. And then I'm going to hit G. And I'm going to go to a corner because I got corner snapping. So that it can snap into place like I wanted to. It's not working because so let's go ahead and hit G. I'm going to snap this little sucker onto the corner here. There we go. And now we're going to rotate it. So rotate around Z, and we're going to bring it in a little bit more. Maybe just a little bit more. Okay. So with that being said, this looks more like a front. This looks more like a hull than a back. But bear with me here. So we're gonna hit G, and we want that corner snapping going on, and we're gonna drop that right there. So I can't really tell if there's a space here. Looks like there is, maybe on the edge there. Yeah, there we go. So there is a little bit of a space. Let's see if we can fix that. So G. Maybe. That should work. Alright, there we go. So the space is not really noticeable. Alright. So, maybe we might have to make it a little bit sharper on the rotation. But let's try 4 deep. So let's take both of these guys and see if this duplicating both of them and snapping both of them to the back works. So we'll go Shift Duplicate. We'll come out a little bit. And we will hit G for moving the object, and we'll pick a corner to snap it to. See, this is not snapping the way I want it to snap. Snap, darn you. I wonder if you have to pick, it has to be the active pick. So active pick. So you can pick multiple objects as I showed you. Everything else is orange, one's going to be yellow. The yellow one is the active selection. That means that one is going, that is the changeable selection at the moment. So if I went and changed the material, which they call color changing on this material, so if I went and changed the material to a different color, say like red, only the active selection is going to be red, unless, and there's a way, don't get me wrong, don't panic, there's a way to get both of them to change to red at the same time. I just kind of learned that the last time. I might go over that lesson on my off time to check it out, and then I can let you know. But for this purpose, we don't really need to worry about that right now. That's why I wanted to explain it to you, because I did say maybe it has to be the active selection, so I wanted to explain to you what the active selection meant. And it doesn't look like it matters too much. Looks like it's snapping funky too. Let's see. So let's go ahead and drop this here, and we're gonna rotate this guy. Let's rotate around the Z. Kind of pull it out like this. All right, now we'll see if snapping works. So we'll hit G to move the object. Why does it want to snap just that one? That is kind of silly, don't you think? So, G, why are you doing this to me? Sometimes it doesn't act like you want it to act. So you can't do 2 at a time. You can do 2 at a time. I know you can do 2 at a time. I did 2 planks at a time. You can't tell me that I can't figure this out. So how about we hit G here? All right. So let's just delete this object, and I did that by pressing right-click, delete on the active selection. So let's move this guy here. See, this one moves there. And you telling me the other one couldn't move there? Okay. So let's see how this looks. Okay, so now if we come this far, we can kind of see that all of the one side is closer to the green than the other side, okay? So with that being said, let's move them all over. All right, so that, how we do that, now there's a couple ways we can do that. You can select each block individually, and that's exactly how I'm going to do it, because I forgot the other way. So you can select blocks this way, hitting shift and select the active block you want. It'll pick all the blocks. Oh yeah, that's right, hold on, you can drag them. Hold on, let me get this right. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to drag these guys. See, I don't need that. So I'm going to go right here then. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to drag this guy over here. See if I can get them all selected. Yeah, bum. So drag this guy here. Let's go this way. There we go. Oh, it's going to hit the other guy. So what if I hit shift and did this? Hey, it worked. Ah, that's awesome. All right, so now you can just hit kind of shift and pick the blocks you don't have selected.
Did Bear have his medicine?
Bear has not had his medicine right now, but I will give it to him. Let's see. So we also want to select these guys because we don't want to leave them just sitting there. Now, so we want to, I believe it's shift. You want to deselect the floor. Okay? So we're going to move it by hitting G, and we're going to go along the x-axis. Alright, so we'll say about there, maybe? Okay, and then now we notice that the z-axis is a little bit off. Oh, what did I do? Oh no. Okay, cool. We're good. All right. So if we turn it this way, we can tell that this rotation along the z-axis is off a little bit. So let's try to bring that back over. All right. So that looks okay to me so far. And let's continue what we're doing. Alright, so I feel like that this back one needs to rotate on the z-axis a little bit more. Alright, so let's see if we can snap this guy. Whoop, making myself dizzy here. Alright, so we're going to hit G to move it, and then we're going to try to snap it on one of these corners here, and let's see if that worked out well. No, I see the space. So we're going to hit G. I want to see if we can snap it. There we go. Snap it to a better corner. Alright, so that should be okay. Oh, let me see if I can zoom in here. Ooh. Ooh. Zoom in here. Not like I need the block in my face, though. Oh, I'm in front of it. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so there, I don't see a noticeable hole or anything. So, with that being said, let us move on with the scaling. Okay, so now we're going to duplicate this guy, and we're going to bring it over here. We're going to R for rotate, and we're going to do a z-axis, and then we're going to bring it to straight. Alright, so let's go ahead and snap that to his buddy there. So hit G and snap. We're going to bring it in closer to make sure that it's snapped properly. Looks like there's a little space in there, so we're going to go ahead and hit G again, and we're going to snap it there. Okay, that looks good. Alright. That looks good. Now, excuse me, I keep ducking my head like to look under it like it's gonna matter. I can just rotate the camera. But anyhow, so that looks good to me. One more, I believe. One more will do it. So we'll hit Shift D to duplicate. We're gonna pop G. No, not G. Take G off. So we'll hit G again. Doesn't work. So we'll hit Shift D. Is that duplicating? No! Control Z and Shift D to duplicate. Bring that guy out. And then now we'll kind of snap it in place. So we'll hit G to move it. I'm gonna move my cursor to a corner to snap it in place. Zoom in a little bit, see if we got the snap feature working like we want it to work. Okay, so that looks good. And I kind of think I know what I'm going to do for my rudder, but that's in a little bit. Like, I think my mind sometimes moves faster than my body wants to. So let's go ahead and, okay, so now let's test our theory about rotating. So we'll shift this guy, shift this guy, shift this guy, shift this guy, shift that guy. And when I say that guy, I apologize. It's shift, left click to select. So we have our active box and all our box that we want to rotate. So we're going to hit duplicate. So that's shift D. And we are going to move it over. And we're going to left click to leave it alone. And now we're going to go rotate. This is not going to work, is it? Because one side, the back is going to be longer than the front, trying the curve. All right. We could try it anyway, just to kind of show you how it's not going to work. So shift, or not shift, but just R for rotate. And then we're going to rotate around the Z. And you can already tell that this is longer than this one. So that's not going to work. Dang it. I don't want to create all these little guys again. But you know what we could do? We could take this guy and snap it to the board. Let's get in there and make sure the snap is good. Dang it. I don't want to do that. Okay. So here we go. It looks like the snap is good. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to curve. We're going to curve. We're going to curve starting right here. So shift, 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 shift. I'm sorry, shift left click, shift left click. And we're going to rotate. So rotate along the Z axis. Okay. And then we're going to move this guy. And we're going to snap it here. Okay. Let's see now. Is this gonna work? So we'll take this guy, shift left click, shift left click, shift left click, and we're gonna rotate this guy. Let's actually get rid of this. Ooh, let's get rid of this guy. Delete that guy, and then we're gonna rotate these two guys. Shift, shift, rotate, Z axis. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna work, guys. We're just gonna have to create all 5 of them again, which is fine. Now I could probably get this to work, but probably spend some time trying to figure out how to get the alignments when I can just duplicate the brick and just keep going around. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this guy, and we'll bring this guy over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to snap this guy. So G for move, cursor to the corner, snap. Let's see if the snap works out well. Okay, so it did. So we're going to snap one more. So we're going to shift D for duplicate. We're going to move over. We're going to stick it right here. Because if you don't, okay. I hear myself asking, what if they want to just snap it? Well, look, I'm picking the corners right here, and it's not working. For some reason, Blender has you putting it by your object and then snapping it. So you leave your object there hanging, and then you hit G to move, and then you move to a corner. Now, I'm not sure why they do this, and frankly, I don't care. It's their software. I didn't make it. They did. So, now let's figure out the curve we got going on. So let's go ahead and duplicate this guy. So Shift D for duplicate, and we're going to bring this guy over here, and we're going to rotate. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to delete this guy. And now we're going to take this guy here, and we're going to duplicate. Duplicate, and then we're going to bring it over here. And then we're going to rotate around Z. In fact, I don't even know if that mattered. Because I feel like if you duplicate it and you brought it over there, it would have been facing, it would have been curving to the opposite way we wanted it to curve. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but it might not have been. I might be overthinking it, which sometimes I do. So we're going to click G to move this guy, and we're going to snap it to the edge here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move in a little bit. We want to make sure that snap is nice and crisp. Gosh dang it. That's the only problem with the sides. Is if you can't shift your point of reference, then it's harder to get a view of what you're doing. So that snap looks pretty clean. Nothing I feel too crazy about there. So now maybe rotate this guy a little bit more. So rotate around Z. Oh, not that far. No, maybe not. Maybe we'll come out like this. I feel like it's going to be off. Anyway, so let's keep going. Let me not get frustrated at, kind of messing up here, because everybody messes up every now and then, you know what I mean? It's not, everybody's perfect. So we're going to hit duplicate, and we're going to pull this guy here, and then we're going to come around the back, kind of zoom in, and we want to hit G, and we want to snap it on the corner here. Alright, I feel like that was a better snap. Alright, so now looks like we are one more plank. In fact, so let's get this little rotate around Z, huh? Let's rotate this guy around Z, and then we'll move this. Oh, let's go around the back here, and then we'll move this guy. Hit G to move the object, and we'll go to one of the corners to snap it on vertex. Alright, so let's click one of these blocks. Let's see if the snap is smooth. It doesn't look smooth to me. So we're going to take this guy, and we're going to hit G, and we're going to try to snap it a little bit better here. There we go. There we go. Alright. And it looks like we got room for one more. So let's go ahead and duplicate this guy. I'm going to move it over here. Ooh, ooh. Move it over here. We're going to rotate this around the Z axis. And what we're going to do is we're going to move this guy. I'm going to snap it in place here. Did that work? Did it snap wrong? I think it snapped wrong. Yeah, it sure did. Or maybe I just have to, did it snap right here? Looked like it snapped good right there. Maybe I just have to rotate it. Oh no, I see a little space in there. So let's see if we can snap that a little bit better. Maybe there. Think it might be there. Okay, so now you can see, since we are not perfect people, it is off a little bit. It is off a tiny bit. But I believe I can just rotate this out. Rotate Z. Ooh, wrong way. Rotate this out. Kind of hit it with bam. So now both sides are going to be off. Now if we can snap this and it snaps perfectly, that would be amazing. So let's go G and try to get this to snap in correctly. It's not wanting to move just right. So let's try to rotate this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy out a little bit. See what we can get that way. So rotate around Z. We're just gonna pull it that way slightly. And then now we want to move them. We want to get them to snap here. Hello Mario, how you doing, bud? So what we're gonna do is this is not actually a game. This is a program called Blender, and it's a 3D animation software I'm working with. I know it's different than what I usually do, but I'm trying to learn this software, and a friend of mine wanted to see the pirate ship I was making, so I'm trying to get it. So I'm trying just to show what I'm doing, and we have someone from Twitch already on checking it out because he wants to learn Blender too, and he came in at the right time too, because you know this is the beginning stages for me. This is the beginning stages for him on and off, and it should be good. It should be good. But right now I'm trying to get this little edge to snap on correctly. Let's see. So that one looks okay enough. This one just looks funky. Maybe we can expand the block a little bit. So let's kind of make it a little bit longer then. Let's go ahead and scale. Ooh, but which way are we going to scale? Scale in X maybe? Yeah, let's scale X. No, I have a feeling I'm going to mess this one up. So hit scale. We're going to scale along the X. Oh, I did it. Okay, so we'll kind of make it a little bit longer. It might look a tiny bit funky. Tiny bit. Alright, so let's see what we got with that. So let's see if we can maybe even snap one of the corners so it looks a little bit less funky. So let's go here. Let's rotate this guy a little bit. So we'll rotate Z. Right there. Okay, so let's come in, see what we got here. Just come in here. Okay. So it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but I'm happy with this right here. I'm happy with that. Okay. So now that we got the back end of the ship rounded, had one plank of the top rounded, let's start duplicating. So we want to make sure we select all our planks. And then we're going to duplicate these guys. We're going to go Shift D, and we're going to bring them down. Alright, so now, let's see if we can get these guys to snap to the top one. Oh, I can't. Doesn't look. Oh, it's gonna work. Oops. Maybe we can get that to go in a little bit closer, huh? Because it looks like there's a little bit of a space.
You want to try this?
Sure, I'll try some.
Strawberry cheesecake muffin.
Strawberry cheesecake muffin, yes! Excuse me, guys. Give me a few seconds to taste this delicious strawberry cheesecake muffin. Now that hit the spot. Okay. So.
That is good.
Now we know it. Now it snapped into place. So now we can tell from here that even the snaps, we might have to snap it to the further corner on the bottom, which is going to be kind of hard. So let's kind of select. Let's kind of hit Control Z, and kind of select these guys again, and hit G. And we want to move along the Y. We're just going to bring it in a little bit. All right. Perfect. This actually looks okay. Guys. Alright, so let's do this again until we get to this plank here. Because remember, these planks curve in, so we're gonna definitely have to figure out something else with these guys. But with that being said, let's duplicate as much as we can. So we're going to select these guys. Almost worked out perfectly. So, but at least we don't have to keep clicking all kinds of stuff. So we'll hit Shift, left click to select it, left click to unselect it, left click, left click, left click, left click, left click, left click. Why is this not on selecting? Left click, left click, left click, left click. Left click. There we go. So maybe it was selecting a board behind it or something. I don't know.
You can have some water.
Did I just shift my point of reference? Oh, it's shift mouse wheel move around. It's to shift your point of reference. So well, we can go here. We can shift this guy back here. Kind of move it around here. There we go. Alright, so shift, take care of that board. Let's deselect this board. Why are you not deselecting? There we go. Alright, so now that we got these two, boards deselected. Not deselected, but both the rows selected. We're going to duplicate them. So we're going to duplicate, deduplicate, and we're going to move, Shift D to duplicate, and then we're going to move these suckers down. Okay, so we'll set that right there. We'll come around, and we'll hit G. Why doesn't this look right? There.
And then you came back and talked about you was hungry.
Nope, it was the inner one. So we'll hit G to move, and we'll hit the inner one. Okay, that looks okay, I think. Remember, we don't want to spend. Oh, no, it doesn't. Or is that noticeable? Is it really noticeable? It is. But it's not noticeable over here. Yes, it is. Oh, is it not snapping together? Okay. Maybe we can. All right. So let's try this here. So we'll hit Control Z. That was Shift Z. I have no idea what that was. Control Z is what we wanted. All right, so we got these selected, and we're just, because everything looks kind of out of place a little bit, so I want to snap these in a different way. Maybe there. No, because it looks like the corner is off a little bit on the back there. Maybe this corner? How about that? No, because the corner is off. So G, let's try this corner out here. Okay, so it looks like there's starting to create a little bit of space, which I'm not fond of at all, because I don't want my boat to look like the back half is not even attached. You know what I mean? So let's hit Control Z, Z, and we're just going to eyeball this and move it in a little bit, so that way it looks nice and attached. So we're gonna hit, not rotate. What are we hitting? So we're gonna hit Move, which is G, and we're gonna go along the Y-axis, and we're just gonna push this up ever so slightly. Bam, just like that. And then we're gonna take this guy. Oops. Oh, there's still a little bit of space in there. So we're gonna just Alright, so don't forget to deselect your floor. A lot of times when you think you got everything selected, your floor is going to be so big that you don't realize that it's selected. If you rotate these and shift these right now, because the floor is selected, it's going to shift and rotate the floor, and we don't want to do that. So you hit Shift, left click again, left click. Hold on, because I don't want to deselect those guys, so I want to deselect you, you floor. There you go. Okay. I'm not sure why the select button is, the Shift select is not, it's so finicky. But it's okay. It's okay. It's still a great software for free, right? So we have our thing, and it all of it is a little spaced out more than I like. So I'm going to hit G to move them all, and I'm going to go along the Y-axis. This is the little green one. And we're going to just push it in a little bit more. Maybe to right there. Okay. Alright, so let's see what the other side looks like. Alright, so that's better to me. That's better to me. Maybe I should have duplicated them all before I got down to the fixie-mixie part. Ooh, it didn't select the floor this time. Getting better and better. So, how many boards are down here before we run into the curve? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, So we can do all 4 of these. Let's see if I can get it again. Oop, that's touching the floor. Let's see if this will work. Boop. Ah, bummer, dude. Let's see. So we want to hit. So we want to hit these guys. No, that's not it. Gotta move this. Bam. Right there. There we go. Okay. So, as you can tell, it looks like the angle at which you select everything matters. You got to make sure that if you're like this, if you're down here, you're not selecting the sky, or if you're just like this, you're not selecting these boards back here when you're selecting these front ones, because these back boards are going to select. So let's deselect our floor, and I do that by clicking Shift, left click. I let go of my Shift. I'm not sure why it matters. And then I hit it again, Shift, left click, let go, Shift, left click, left click, left click. Not sure why. I don't know. I don't know why I have to move it around and play with it so much. Which is not a bad thing. It gets me used to rotating. That's for sure. So, with that being said, let's duplicate these guys. Duplicate, and then move them down. And because snapping works super, super close, it's super, super close, we can snap these into place. I believe it's this one, yeah. So I believe it's that corner. Ugh. So we're gonna have to move this up a little bit. Ooh. Maybe it's not that corner. Yeah, it's not that corner at all. So we're gonna go ahead and hit Shift, not Shift, G for moving, and then we're gonna pick a corner to snap it into, and we want to pick this inside corner like that. Okay. All right, so I think not only, why is this not working out for me? Let's try over here. So I'm gonna hit G. Okay, so you see how the top is a little bit closer? I'm gonna try to rotate this guy into place. See, but this one is kind of okay. Why is that bottom one so out of place on both sides? Maybe let's just try rotating this guy out. So rotate Z. Nah, that makes it too far off. Alright, so we'll hit Control Z to take it back, put it back into place. And what we're gonna do is, I can't understand for the life of me, because these are not curving. These are not curving, so it shouldn't be creating spaces like that if there's no spaces up here. So let's figure this out. Maybe just bring it in a little bit closer. Okay, so we're gonna select these guys. Alright, and let's play with our floor so that way it gets deselected. I'm sure there's a way. Ah, see? Dang it. So Control Z. Control Z. There we go. Alright, so shift pointer. Okay, there we go. All right. So let's go ahead and move this in a bit. So let's go ahead, G for move, and we're going to move along the y-axis, and let's just see if we can move it in a little bit and release that gap. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. It just has to have no gaps, because technically this is a ship, right? If you got holes in your ship, it's going to sink. So we want to make sure that there's no holes and it's going to float. This one's starting to irritate me. I wonder if it's just that bottom one. If I can snap that bottom one in a way that it won't do that. Well, how about we just rotate this and how it's a little bit off. A little bit off. Okay. Kind of put it right there. And then snap it. See if it snaps okay. Let's try that. Don't see any holes. But also, it just kind of looks like somebody kicked the plank in a little bit. So if we can maybe... Yes, it was on. It's okay. So we're going to go ahead and hit G for move. And we're going to try to re-snap this guy. Maybe we can get it into a better location. Let's rotate it around the Z, get it back into a straighter board, and then kind of see if we can snap it back into place better. Well, that looks kind of good. But over here, it's kind of like a little space right here. So why don't we scale it? Why don't we scale it along this guy? Kind of get rid of that gap. And voila. Okay. All right. No holes. I think we're good. So now this is just a slightly bit more tricky. We might have to take one of our boards out. We might have to make one of them shorter. We'll figure it out. But what I want to do is I want to actually try to make this as easy as possible, don't you? I want to take these boards out. I'm going to select them. Why doesn't it select them all? So I'm going to take these boards out. I'm going to select them. There we go. And I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to bring it down. And I'm going to leave it there. And what I'm going to do is, because it's not going to line up, is I'm just going to rotate the edges a little bit more. So let's get this snapped into place. So we're going to hit G. I'm going to choose one of these corners to snap it into. There we go. This is probably going to create a gap over here. Yeah. Well, not so much of a gap. That's not too bad, huh? Yeah, I think that'll do. Ah, just when you think everything's good, you find it. The flaw. And it's not even this guy, so it's these guys here. So let's go ahead and do this. And then we're going to move this along the z-axis and just kind of move it up to get rid of that gap there. Alright, I think that might be good. Just take care of that gap. I don't see any more holes. Oh. Nope. Okay. Okay. Oh. Is that a hole? No. It's not a hole. Oh, but it is kind of a space. Huh. Well, let's keep going. Like I said, this is a beginning project. When I can figure more stuff out, I'll go back and tidy it up a bit. I keep doing that with my well scene. I did the blocks on my well before I knew how to snaps. So I put a light in my well, and the light shines through the bricks. I'm not sure why either, because I got them like going into each other a little bit so that there was no spaces. But the light still shine through, so I'm not exactly sure. Maybe Blender sees snapping as a sealed way for objects to be close to each other. But with that being said, let's go ahead and do another one because that worked out okay. We're not gonna get this lucky for long. Oh yeah. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Did you just pick blocks I didn't pick? Alright, so we're just gonna hit this guy, this guy, this guy. Now, I don't know why it's not so finicky with these fellas over here. Gosh dang it. So Control Z. I'm gonna hit Shift. Why are you selecting other planks? Please stop doing that. Okay, so now we just gotta deselect this guy. It's not deselecting, guys. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. So here, now one thing my instructor tells me is nothing in the world is perfect, so don't make it line up exactly perfectly, because nothing is lined up exactly perfectly. It's always going to be a little tiny bit off, especially when these ships were built. Now, I'm not making an excuse. I still don't like it being so finicky, but he actually did show a well scene where the well wasn't, the blocks weren't they were kind of like off a little bit, and it made the well look real. So with that being said, I mean, sometimes it's not a bad thing. I just don't like it. But then again, it does, if everything's perfect, it does look kind of fake, you know what I mean? Because when the ground settles, the blocks will be off just slightly. I mean, I know that from, real life experience, making fire pits out of bricks. So, alright. Let me see if I can get these blocks deselected. Hopefully I can. There we go. And then the other side. Let me choose this one, because this one I don't have to worry about a block being in front of it. Alright. So, with that being said, let's move back to the back of the ship here. Alright, so we got to the back of the ship. And now, let's duplicate and move down, finally. Oh, but we don't want to duplicate our plane, so let's go ahead and deselect the plane somehow. I don't know how or why it doesn't deselect. There's nothing else in front of it. There we go. It's deselected. Maybe it has been deselected and I've just been tripping out, huh? But let's go ahead and duplicate this guy. Okay. Let's go ahead and duplicate this guy. So Shift D for duplicate, and we'll bring it down and kind of set it right here. And then we'll kind of come in close here, and we'll kind of snap it into place. That one looks like it's gonna be right. Is that right? Let's see. Doesn't look half bad to me. Alright, so Control Z, Shift, duplicate, bring down, snap this guy into place. So we're gonna hit G snap. Okay, so here's where it starts curving in extreme. I knew it was too good to be true. Alright. So these guys, yeah, there we are. That's a better view. Okay, so this guy, Shift, this guy, 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 this guy. Now we just want to close that gap a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit G to move, and we're going to go along the Z because we want to go up. So let's move up. Alright, so that takes care of that. That might bother me a little bit, but I can probably take care of that. Just keep going with our backs. So Control Z, Control, and then we're gonna duplicate, and we're gonna move that down. Ooh, I don't want to snap it anywhere yet. Yeah. Is it gonna let me snap it correctly? Let's just put it there for now. No, it didn't let me snap it correctly. So let's go here. Oh, no, it might be too big now. Yeah, it's getting to that point where they're too big. So let's rotate the ends, huh? So we're going to rotate Z. Ugh. That doesn't look too great to me. But there's no holes. Oh, yeah, there is. Dang it. Dang it, there's another one. Alright, so let's take this guy and we'll rotate Z a little bit. We'll move it right. Well, this guy maybe needs to come like this. And then hit maybe GZ. Close that gap a little bit. Maybe hit this guy and we'll rotate it around Z. Bring this out a little bit. And then hit move Z. Bring that up a little bit. Alright, how about that? Looks crazy. Looks crazy, I tell you. Maybe we need to make this a little bit longer, this little board a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and scale this to come out a little bit longer. Ooh! No. Let's hit Control Z to get it back to where it was. And then we'll hit Scale and just try X. There we go. So let's see how that works out. Okay, so we want to bring that G X. Let's scale that again. Scale X. Just gonna make that a little bit longer. This needs to rotate in a little bit. This needs to rotate this way a little bit. And then this one needs to move. Why? Move X. How about that? I'm not fully digging it. So let's kind of move this. G, Y. G, X. GX, let's move this. Nope. What are you doing? Okay. So, I feel like straight up and down is not going to work anymore. So, why don't we tilt this a little bit? So, why don't we go rotate Y? Kind of rotate this a little bit. Move this out. Now, I kind of messed this block up, didn't I? So let's just hit Control Z a couple times. Okay. Whoops. I don't want to mess with that. Okay. So let's go ahead and just rotate this a little bit. Why is it rotating so funky? So shift. What is going on here? Control Z. Control Z. Alright, so let's kind of zoom out and see what's going on here, because after moving all this stuff, I kind of lost what I was doing. So we are trying to close up that. I think there was one right here we were trying to close too. Wasn't there? Can't find it again. Mess with all these planks too much. Alright, so you kind of get the idea though. Got a big old block here. Just kind of sitting there. I want to move that up. Don't worry, I'm going to take care of that gap. My ship, it's not going to have any holes on it. You're going to have a safe passage on my ship. Of course, it's a pirate ship, so you might be robbed in the meantime. But let's try to figure out how to get this a little bit more smoother, instead of big bulky blocks sticking out of the thing here. So not only do we want to move this X to move in, we want to rotate this no wonder it's moving funky. Hold on. I think I just thought of something. It's curved. So rotations happen along these access points. Up here in the corner right here. There's the Y. You can view it from the Y. You can view it from the Z. And you can also view it from the X. This is from the side. Okay. I'm assuming that's under. Don't really remember what these guys are. But anyway, you get the idea. So with that being said, I want to get along my axes, so we know kind of which direction we're rotating. So I want to rotate not along the Z, it's along the X axis. There we go. Nope, that's not it. It's gonna be the Y axis. So we gonna rotate around the Y. See, it wants to move in a funky way. Why is this not working out the way I want it to? Alright. Well, we just need this plank to come out. And now we want to move this plank Alright, so let's rotate this plank around the Z. Okay, so now it can be rotated around the Y. Rotate Y. See, now that works out the way we want it to. And now we just have to curve it again. Alright, so G, let's move it back into place. Let's snap it in here. We want to snap it. That's and then curve it, so rotate X. No, we don't want to rotate X. We want to rotate the Y. And then rotate X. Rotate X. Oh my gosh. People, I'm about to do it the blocky way. Alright. So, let's just kind of do this the manual way, huh? Just it's starting to irritate me. So what we're going to do is we're just going to select this guy. And this is only because I'm a starter. And because I don't know all the features, I feel like I'm missing something that would easily help me. So, let's just do this the hard way. There's nothing wrong with the hard way sometimes, is there? So, Shift. Mother Teresa. So Shift. Why are you doing this to me? Let's just, so because I'm losing my patience, we are going to select the blocks. So normally I would just try to do this the easy way, folks, but my blocks are twisted out of place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these with G, and then we're going to move these up, which is along the Z. We want to close that gap that they have. Did we close that gap? We sure did. These over here look like somebody came to work intoxicated and started doing some stuff. Should we even try to clean this up a little bit? I feel like I'm just gonna make it worse. Alright, so what's this going on? Is this over here? I think we're okay. Let's just move this up a little bit because this is an uneven block already. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this, and the Z, we're just gonna try to make it even here. Well, hi Segment, how are you doing? Just kind of working the blender for people over here. Kayake wanted to see it, so I thought I'd make a stream working it over here. So these are kind of freaking me out here. They're gonna sink my ship. So we're gonna rotate this. Rotate along the Y. We're gonna pull this out a little bit. Or should that be around the Z? Rotate around the X, I mean. And then rotate around the Z, and we'll kind of spin that back over here. Rotate X. No, see, that's not going to work. We want to rotate Y. I was right the first time. Rotate Y. There we go. Kind of move this into like kind of a rotate, or not rotate, but move X. Kind of make this a little bit smoother. And I know I say smoother because the last time I was trying to make it smooth and it just wasn't working out for me. So let's kind of rotate this guy around the Y. And we want to bring that not too far. Maybe rotate X and kind of bring it up a little bit more. And then kind of move X so we can move it in. There we go. This is starting to look better than it did before. What if we rotated this guy here? I don't see any holes. It looks like they took the engineering skills I know of today and tried to make a ship out of it. Rotate Y. Okay. And then rotate X. Okay. And then move X. Move this in a bit. Here we go. Now it's starting to look like someone's messed up teeth. Here. So let's rotate Y and woo! Kind of move that like that here. And then we'll rotate X and kind of move it in here. And then move X. So bring it in closer. Alright, so let's see what we got here. It's definitely not perfect. And it's curving in like I want to curve in. And it's not too far off from the other blocks. So if I had a sander, I would definitely smooth out all the edges and make it very seamless. There is a way to smooth out the edges on Blender. And that's to make something completely a sphere smooth rounded rather than the blocky sphere they have on here so that you can click sections of the sphere. So with that being said, I think I'm off to a pretty okay start here. Let's see if we got this guy. I don't see any holes. I want to get under it, but it's not gonna let me do that. So maybe, because there's a bit of a space right here, maybe I can bring this guy in a little bit. So rotate Y. There we go. Let's try that. Let's look at it from the inside, huh? Maybe we can see it from there. I don't see any gaps. That might be okay. Well, there's one. Alright, so let's grab this guy and we're going to move that along the X here. We're going to bring that in a little bit. Then we're going to move it along the Y. GY. Alright. So, my pirate ship is off to a start here. Alright, so let's get out of this view. Oh, look at that guy. That guy needs to come in a little bit. Move X. And kablow. So that's a little better. Okay, it's not sticking out there so much. It kind of is a little bit. Let's grab this guy and move it in X again. Ah, no, not delete. GX. Alright. So, with that being said, that is a little bit better. I see the ocean there. My ship's gonna sink if we try to roll with that. So let's rotate around the Z. There we go. All right. So, let's see. So, let's make sure there's no spaces here, which I don't think there are. I think we're good. Alright, so, as it gets smaller and smaller, I think it's just going to keep getting more and more irritating. But, let's continue. Let's just close up this gap. Okay. So, next thing's next. So let's grab these guys. Looking like someone's messed up grill. Looks like someone chewed on it. Why did I pick a pirate ship? Why do I have to do everything difficultly? Make it more difficult on myself. Actually, I think I got a better idea. So wasted all that time. But watch this work. So I'm gonna take these guys. Go, Okay. And then I'm gonna deselect the ground. Okay. And then I'm going to get rid of this. You're like, no! I'm like, yeah, because I think I got a better idea. So, see how this is curved too. I think I'm going to get rid of this floor. Delete that guy. So now let's take this guy. The guy we haven't messed with. Always trying to select these boards. I don't want to select the boards, dang it. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. It's always trying to select some stuff. Alright, so shift. It's not working out for me. Let's point up to the sky then. Now, which one of these cubes is it? You know, I should have put all these into some kind of order here. So shift Alright, so we're gonna duplicate these guys. I'm gonna duplicate these guys. Duplicate. I'm gonna bring down. Okay. And now we want to move these guys, and we want to snap these guys into place. Okay, so just put these guys right here, and now we're gonna try to snap them in a location that's gonna mean something. So that's not a location that's gonna mean something. So we snap it on the inside. And let's check on this side. Now you see how that side's just kind of sticking out there? Well, let's do something cool. Let's just take these guys. Shift, 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 shift. Let's make sure no other blocks are selected. And we'll just take these guys and we will move just the side. And we'll move this guy along the x-axis. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make it seem like this block is a lot shorter than this one. And it seems to work out better. Yay, and I don't have to mess with it so much. Interesting. Don't see any holes, no gaps, no nothing. Bam. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that for the next one. So we're going to select you, and you. Alright, and then we're going to duplicate you guys, and we're going to move you down. And then we're going to put you right there, and we're going to snap you into place here. So let's hit G, hit one of these corners. There we go. We want to hit this corner. That one. Alright, I think that's the corner we want. Okay, so again, this side's a little bit sticking out a little bit. So we're gonna select these guys. And we're gonna hit G, X, what just happened? What just happened? We gotta do something about that hole. So we'll say we'll say this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. And we're going to move along the X. Just gonna move that back ever so slightly. Alright, no hole. Everything is going according to plan here. We can even move this back a little bit more. Nah. Is that a gap? No, that's just edges. That's a big edge though. I wonder if I should take this guy and take this guy and then move it along the X a little bit. Just kind of move this back just a tiny bit. How about that? Nope, still showing those big old gap. GX, what are you doing? I just want to move you ever so slightly. So what's going on here? What is that? So G. What did I do? What did I do? I messed it all up. Kind of leave that alone. Who cares if it's a big gap? It's closed, right? This doesn't need to be perfect. My second project. Alright. Moving on here. Moving on. So. Let's grab these guys. Shift. Oh, it doesn't always deselect even when you click on it. I wonder why. So shift, duplicate, bring down, and we're gonna snap this guy into place. G, See, this just needs to start curving in. Or need to stop duplicating and actually make them from scratch again. So this one, move X needs to come in a bit. See, I don't know why I'm messing with this. Why don't I just... Why don't I just do one of these things? So shift and then duplicate. Okay, so these are at the perfect angle. Okay, so I just need to make them smaller. So I need to scale them down along the Y and make them like that. Okay, so then G. And we're gonna snap them little suckers into place. So, okay. And then G. Okay. And then we are going to rotate them. So rotate along the Z-axis. Okay, and then we're gonna hit the G button and we're gonna snap these little suckers into place. So with that being said, how did that turn out? I think I was doing better with just a little messed up blocks here and there. Actually, let me see if I can just kind of move this along the X. By George, I think I figured it out. So let's go to shift, scale Y. Scale down to the Y. And then G. Let's make sure I got it snapped correctly into place. Nope. See, now they're smaller. They were a little bit bigger, now they're smaller. So 1.55. Why is this 1.55? Shift. So we'll go to scale and we'll go 1.55. That's longer than I wanted. Shift Z. So scale Y. Okay. So that's about right. All right. So let's do the next set. Shift, 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 shift. Duplicate. Move over here. G. Snap onto these little suckers. G. Snap onto these little suckers. And we're gonna rotate this in a little bit. So shift, 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 shift. Rotate along the Z axis. So shift, 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 and we want to rotate. I'm not even sure what I'm doing right now. Just know it's not what I want to do. I want to turn this that way. So I would think that I would need to shift. So that way is X. This way is Y. It has to be Z. Shift, rotate Z. So there's some way. Here we go. Here we go. Alright. So G, let's see if we can snap it from here. There we go. Alright. We need to take these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, and we're going to move them along the x-axis just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Alright, so let's take this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and duplicate it again. And we're going to snap it into place. So G. And I think that one's it. No, that wasn't it. It is shift, 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 shift. And we're going to G it along the x-axis. Come on, man. Okay. So we know that needs to be rotated. So we're going to rotate this guy along Z. It needs to be like that. So now we're going to rotate this along the Y. Now we're going to rotate this along the X. Okay. And then we're going to G-snap this thing. No, that's not at all what I wanted to do. G. No. G-Zex. Did I say Zex? I meant X. And then GY. Alright, so let's see what we got. We got quite an issue here. So this guy is kind of sitting on the outside of these guys. Are they not? So we need to snap this into a different spot, like right there. What do I think about that? Huh? What do I think about that? Is it going into this one? Ugh. Interesting. So shift, shift, shift. Shift. Ugh. All right. I think that's about enough for me. Let's just kind of remove these. I don't like how they're sitting. And then we'll do this again tomorrow. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was a little learning experience for you and you got something out of it. Hope you know that, hope you realize that it's not as easy as it looks. Even an idea that may seem easy to you at first may not come out so easy, but it's important to work through it. And the more you learn, the more you can fix it, and the more you fix it, the better you're gonna be at it. So, with that being said, I want to wish you guys a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Casey's Caverns, and I will talk to you again at a different time. Peace.